Good morning. This is Will from Yatori, and I'd love to talk to you today about a Solana RPC method called getSignatures-for-address. And so why, if you're building a payment app or a stablecoin app with Solana, which you should, Solana is the best, you would use this method in order to get a user's transactions. So if you're making a payment app for stablecoins, you're going to want to get that information, all the transactions they made, because they're going to want to see that probably in their app or be able to recall for invoicing and history and data and everything like that. So let's see what the response looks like. Now, this is great. We get a signature. So the signature is the ID on the blockchain for that transaction. And then we can see if it's errored, that's fantastic. There's a slot here for memo. And then there's confirmation status, finalize. Great, it went through. And so what is it missing though? We probably want the user to be able to see their transaction history for who they sent it to. What was the token? Were there any fees associated? Is there any app specific information? Was it for a return? Was it for buying a burrito? Was it for buying a vacation? Is there a referral code that gives you points for something else? So you can store more information in here, but out of the box, right? In most Solana applications, they're not using memos. And so memos are very important. Yatori believes in memos, and we've set up an architecture that's very easy to use for you. So if you're an Ethereum dev, you don't need to worry about instructions. You don't need to worry about PDAs, program derived addresses. Even when you go to a Solana block explorer, in a transaction, a lot of times you won't even see the to address, or certain addresses are missing based on what you're doing. That's because it's using the program derived addresses. And so you shouldn't have to learn anything about that if you're just making a simple payment app. The user shouldn't have to know anything about what PDAs or token associated accounts are. They just want the information. So you as the developer, instead of learning about instructions, optimizing it, you can just use a RESTful API for Yatori and do from address, to address, token min address, which is like the smart contract address, an amount, a base amount, and a unique ID specific to your app. Is it super unique so you can look for confirmations? Is it have inventory data? Does it have referral codes for other airdrops or other programs? Whatever you want, anything that's app specific. And then here is what a Solana transaction unsigned looks like, what you'll get back. And this is ready to hand off to a wallet for signing. It's secure. It's completely worthless unless it's signed by the user that it was intended for, by their address. So it's secure. And so if we use this endpoint, what do we get when we use get signatures for address now? Well, we can see this is the Yatori app. And so if a user has other transactions with another application, maybe they're using the same address, you can return just app specific addresses, right? You can sort them. You can see what the token was in the memo. You can see from and to the amount and some type of unique ID. You might have fees in there as well. So there's lots of information you can store, and Yatori has architected a specific memo structure to help you with your app. And so what does this translate to you for your business and your application? Well, if you're just using basic transfers, right, from say the Solana Web3 JS library, and you're not having a complex memo structure, right, which will take time to build, you're just going to get this signature. So if you have a user who has made 1,000 transactions, you got to make this one call, get signatures for address, and then you have to look up the signature and return all that data and then parse through it in your application. So if a user has 1,000 payments that they did, that means one call and then 1,000 others. But if you use Yatori's token transfer memo endpoint, you just make one call and you can get all this information and display it on the UI with one call. So fast loading, saving on API calls. Also, you don't have to understand program derived addresses. It's made simple for you. It's pre-packaged, it's safe and secure, and everything's set up for you. So I'd love to know what blockchain devs, both Ethereum, Solana, think about this. This is a good idea. You know, any feedback in terms of changing it. Would you use this? Yatori is available right now. There's a hobby tier. You can sign up for $7.99 and start using these endpoints for development and production. Thanks.